Brennan leaves the Critical Role cast in tears with a stunning twist, Dimension 20 teams up with the WWE, and Matt Mercer returns to Geek and Sundry with an insane new Pathfinder actual play.
Show me what you've got.
Welcome to Fantasy News Friday on the Character Sheet, your home for the week's biggest fantasy and TTRPG news stories. Before we talk some Critical Role spoilers, Matt's new actual play, and some big Pokémon and D&D news, why not hit those like and subscribe buttons to help us keep this channel growing? And then, let's dive into some news.
Holy there's a lot of news.
Brennan was back to inflicting that emotional damage with a huge twist on the latest episode of EXU Divergence. Not only did our cast of level 1 heroes stumble across the Vault of Agrupnin, a nod back to the very first EXU calamity, but they uncovered Paisha's orb and used it to see various moments from past EXU campaigns, including the fall of Aeor at the hand of the gods and the gods taking their mortal forms. But what really got the waterworks started was the revelation that the gods were closer than they thought the entire time, as Renia's sister turned out to have been the Moonweaver herself, who took a mortal form to try and experience the love of family the way a mortal did before she left Exandria with the rest of her divine siblings. We also got a lot of foreshadowing that Mac's character Garen could also be the mortal form of the Allhammer, and Crocus put on a holy symbol that seemed to actually make him smarter and raises the possibility that he could be the one who goes on to found the Cobalt Soul. And in classic Brennan style, the entire party of level 1s was almost killed on their journey towards Vasselheim in a random encounter. So at this point, we have now seen some of the gods leave Exandria. The party is carrying a handful of new vestiges of Divergence as they trek to Vasselheim, and a lot of the stories of this group are suddenly seeming to tie into the history of Exandria as we know it. So with one episode left, expect Brennan to pull out all the stops as the party heads to Vasselheim to let the faithful know that their gods are about to leave Exandria behind for good, assuming of course they survive their journey across the ocean on a ship that seems to have no pudding.
I haven't checked, but I have to assume that there's a door behind which there's so much pudding.
Speaking of Brennan, Dimension 20 has revealed one of the wildest collabs we have ever seen, as 4 WWE superstars are entering the Dome for a new Dimension 20 miniseries called Titan Takedown. This limited campaign will see Brennan Lee Mulligan lead WWE superstars Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Bayley, and Chelsea Green through a wrestling-themed campaign where Zeus himself pits his champions against the mightiest mortals he can find in a wrestling competition called the Titan Takedown. Xavier Woods has appeared in the Penny Arcade Acquisitions Unlimited campaign before and has even run several seasons of his own actual play, Rollout, on his Up Up Down Down YouTube channel, but this will be the first time inside the Dimension 20 Dome for all of these WWE stars, and it's one of the biggest collabs we've ever seen in the actual play space. Combined with their recent record-breaking live show at Madison Square Garden, Dimension 20 has never been bigger, and with Titan Takedown they could reach an entirely new audience of WWE fans. So prepare for insanity as the cast tries to powerbomb Polyphemus and hit a headlock on Hercules when the new campaign drops this April.
Say hi, righteous wrestlers!
Hi, righteous wrestlers!
Hasbro has announced the financials for their final quarter of 2024 last week, and it's not amazing news for Wizards of the Coast, which appears to have dropped in tabletop revenue by nearly $60 million, or some 22%, compared to December 2023. While Hasbro did try and blame the drop-off of tabletop revenue on the strong sales of their Middle-earth-based Magic the Gathering set in 2023, that set actually came out in the summer of 2023, and in 2024, D&D released 2 of the 3 new 2024 core rulebooks. But apparently those new D&D core rulebooks could not really come close to balancing out the loss of even that lingering Lord of the Rings Magic set sales, which does seem slightly at odds with Wizards claiming the new Player's Handbook was breaking sales records for the D&D brand. Still, digital gaming sales for Wizards were up a bit despite the dwindling return on Baldur's Gate 3 after over a full year of release, so it's not all bad news. And with this summer seeing the launch of the Magic the Gathering fully standard legal Final Fantasy set, we expect those tabletop numbers to shatter some records, as this Final Fantasy Magic set is certainly going to be one of, if not the best-selling Magic set ever when it drops this summer. However, it does appear to show that the adoption of the core 2024 rules in D&D has not gone as quickly or as widespread as Wizards of the Coast may have hoped.
Oh, get out there and make me some goddamn money!
Thursday was Pokémon Day, and in a new Pokémon Presents video on YouTube to celebrate 29 years since the launch of the now massive franchise, Pokémon has revealed our first in-depth look at the new video game in the series, Pokémon Legends ZA, which looks like it will add a ton of new elements to the iconic franchise. The biggest change Pokémon Legends ZA is bringing is real-time Pokémon battles, where your trainers and their Pokémon move around the battlefield, firing off their special abilities as their opponents move around and do the same. Trainers will also need to capture any new Pokémon in real time as well. We also found out that this will be the first installment of the game to be set entirely in just one city, the massive Lumino City to be specific, with a variety of previously seen starter Pokemon like Chikorita and Totodile to choose from as you wander across the sprawling city environment. The one thing that has not changed, unfortunately, is the graphics, which still have that same last-gen console look that we saw with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but with an interesting new urban setting, 3D real-time battles, and the return of Mega Evolutions, we imagine fans will still be lining up to get their hands on Pokémon Legends ZA when it drops in late 2025.
Come on, give me it. Give me it.
And finally, Matthew Mercer has not only returned to Geek and Sundry for a new actual play, he's returned to Pathfinder as well, and he's reuniting with Felicia Day and some other huge actual play stars in the process. This new actual play, called Lost Odyssey Godfall, has one other crazy trick up its sleeve, as somehow you'll be able to experience the game as though you were sitting at the table through some type of VR recording process, which we're very curious to see in action. The production values on this one-shot, which benefits the Extra Life charity, seem absolutely crazy, probably the best we've ever seen in an actual play. And the cast not only features Matt Mercer reuniting with Felicia Day, who helped create Critical Role in the first place, but Daredevil star and huge D&D advocate Deborah Ann Woll is in the cast as well, alongside the former Superman himself, Brandon Routh, and the incredibly funny Reggie Watts, with the entire Pathfinder campaign being presided over by the excellent Bill Rehor of Beetle and Grimm's. So if you're interested in a new way to watch actual plays, it basically puts you right into a seat at the table, or you just want to see Matthew Mercer play a character at a Pathfinder campaign for the first time in ages, make sure you check out Lost Odyssey Godfall when it launches in the very near future over on Geek and Sundry's YouTube channel.
We have seen what has fallen from the sky. We will not leave without it.
Make sure you're paying close attention to how well I protect you.
Cheers.
Another crest!
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
And that's all we have this week for Fantasy News Friday. Let us know what your favorite story was down in the comments, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.